Hello, everybody. In this mini podcast, I have a short lesson to share with you. Even though this is a very simple lesson, if you understand and apply it in your life, it's going to have a tremendous effect on your psychological, physical well being. The title of this lesson is Don't Chase a High, or I can say, Don't Chase a Climax. And when I explain to you what I mean, you get why I say don't chase a high. This goes back to that whole concept which I've been sharing, that happiness, well being comes from being in a state of balance, being centered, being in your core of being where you're at peace, you are feeling okay, happy within, but you're not chasing pleasures, you're not chasing a high. They are programmed to chase next pleasure, next excitement, next climax, orgasm, next high. And we tend to be inclined towards this notion that if we get more of that climax of things, whether it's a physical experience, if it's sex, if it's eating, if it's an experience and excitement, even in spiritual practices. A lot of people do spiritual practices and seeking abnormal state of energy, excitement, blissfulness, and so on. When we chase the high of things, we become addicted to the high, which can be generated by anything that we do in life, compared to just being in a state of balance and harmony, which means being centered, being at peace, being equanimous, and it keeps us in a state of illusion, even psychologically speaking, chasing dopamine high, and it will never bring us the sense of contentment and peace, which is a state of clarity, harmony, which can create this real sense of being centered within yourself and feel okay, feel at peace. We need to stop chasing that high or climax or excitement to feel okay and happy. There are many reasons for this. First of all, when we keep chasing that high, psychologically speaking, in terms of neuroscience and brain, we cannot stay in that high state. It needs to come down, and we keep chasing it by pushing more. Let's say you enjoy the coffee, and maybe in the past, even you enjoyed it more, and then you want to drink more coffee to become more energized. After a while, it becomes a sort of compulsive behavior that it loses its beauty, it loses its effect. This can be explained in terms of using food and drugs, including caffeine or other things, or it can be in our other behavior. It could be sex, it could be the excitements that we seek by everything that we do. And yes, it has its own place and beauty to experience that state of excitement where your neurons in your brain are firing up and you feel blissful or whatever you want to call it. But since that excitement, it uses a lot of our biological energy and you cannot keep doing it forever. There will be a time that your body, your being here on this earth says that I want to be content. I want to feel centered and happy rather than constantly chasing a high. What's next? What's next? Next excitement, next pleasure. As long as we don't understand that the happiness comes from our body and mind, our breath being in a state of equanimity and feeling centered, content within, we keep chasing those highs with the illusion that there will be one high one day that is going to fulfill everything. Even in our daily life when we seek different desires and we go after different goals. We feel like, okay, one day I might find a person in my relationship that keeps me in that state of high all the time. Or what's next? If I achieve this goal, if I accomplish this thing, I will be in that state. See, it will never happen. You can never stay in that state of high, even if you were to become some sort of mystic or yogi and be able to achieve that state of like blissfulness. It will not be that state in terms of body and mind that is similar to like chasing a high from different things. And I always give this example of sexual orgasm climax because it's a very obvious example that all of us are familiar with. You cannot stay in an orgasm all the time. In the same way, by seeking different goals, different accomplishments, or using drugs or whatever, it's not possible to stay in that state. And it's okay to do it and nothing wrong with it. But if your mindset is that one day comes that I will get to a state of blissfulness or high excitedness, that it will give me a sense of fulfillment, it will keep you in a compulsive state, in an agitated state, to feel the next pleasure, to feel fulfilled. But the fulfillment, as I have explained in my book, Art of Balance, and as neuroscience, psychology, and holistic sciences and ancient spiritual sciences like yoga explain, that state of fulfillment, which we can call being content, comes from keeping your mind and body in a vibrant state of energy and your mind in a equanimous state of balance. So whether your external situation in life goes good or bad, you can still stay centered and be content. So we need to change our attitude towards this. And instead of chasing the next high, asking ourselves, what are the things that we can do on a daily basis to create a baseline of contentment? This includes changing our lifestyle from food, sleep, and especially our attitude towards happiness, and understand that the real contentment in life and the real sense of well-being comes from being in balance. Your brain chemistry be in a state of balance. Your mood, the baseline of your being, becomes balanced. And if we are stuck in a cycle of chasing highs, we can never let that state to become our default. And that's why I'm sharing this with you. So practice creating that balance, having a routine in your daily life that creates that baseline of health and happiness from within. Speaking more in terms of neuroscience, for those who need more science and facts to accept this, see, the brain is not built that way to stay in a high state all the time. See, intense pleasures floods our system with chemicals like dopamine and endorphins. And while it feels incredible at the moment, the brain quickly adapts. The more we chase highs, the less they satisfy. You become less happy. We build tolerance to all type of pleasure and highs. What once thrilled us becomes ordinary. Our biology is wired for balance, not endless peak states. Excitement takes energy, as I mentioned, and you need to compensate that energy. It's not sustainable. Even joy needs rest. And here is a deep truth. Excitement isn't same as contentment. Excitement is loud, fast, and fleeting. Contentment is quiet, deep, and lasting. One is about a stimulation, the other is about presence. But many of us try to use excitement as a substitute for fulfillment. We chase it through pleasure, through success, even spirituality. And yet, the more we chase, the more restless we become. That's why in all the ancient spiritual traditions, such as yoga and so on, there's been a huge discussion about letting go of your desires, and people misunderstood it for saying, okay, now I should let go of all my desires and I should not seek pleasures or anything to become happy. But it's more about becoming content and saving your energy to create contentment from within, because the highs don't last. The cravings grows and we feel emptier than before. This is also called addiction loop. Addiction is not just about being addicted to some hard drug. We can be addicted to many things. And this is not freedom. Real peace doesn't come from more. It comes from creating that state of feeling content, feeling enough within. This is also real meaning of spirituality, to be self-sufficient, because the source of all good feelings and good moods and happiness is within. The real sense of contentment comes when we stop running and we return to ourselves, when we discover stillness and simplicity, the balance and beauty of simply being alive. So don't chase a high. Don't chase going higher. Chase or seek going within, going deep. Try to not live from the peak, but from the center. Because true joy isn't a spike. True joy isn't an orgasm. It's not a high. It's a state of being. It's a state of mental, emotional, physical, chemical balance within. I hope I've been able to convey this important message to you. And if you can take one thing from all of my teachings, take this simple fact, and it will change the meaning that you give to life and makes your life more joyful. It's actually counterintuitive. To become more happy, stop seeking happiness.